Artisan Tropic is excited to announce a new partnership with Terra Genesis International to transition our supply system to regenerative agriculture. Let us show you why this is something we are so passionate about.
I'm Chris Kaput, also known as the Growing Dutchman. I'm a Dutch permaculture designer, and I work with an international regenerative design firm called Terra Genesis. So Terra Genesis is a company that's really specialized in creating regenerative supply systems. That is to say, we look at entire supply chains basically. We kind of take a whole systems approach. We zoom out, we see like what are all these different parts of the chain from, the final product that we consume as the consumer, and everything in between, starting with the farmer at the beginning of the chain, the companies that are in the middle, and then the big brands, and really seeing how can we kind of reorganize the chain in a way where it's less damaging to the environment, if not regenerative, which is to say, bringing back biodiversity, restoring soil health and watersheds, and really revitalizing communities. So if we look at a regenerative agricultural system and we would compare it with kind of the traditional way we've been producing our food and agricultural products over the last decades, we see polycultures, right? Various crops combined together rather than monocultures, right? So monoculture being just one crop on a field, like a field full of corn or a field full of whatever it is that we're growing, right? Which is typically very vulnerable because there are no plants that attract like the natural predators that would otherwise maybe prey or eat the insects that now turn into a pest, right? So they're very vulnerable. When a disease enters into a monoculture, there's nothing to stop it. It just has unlimited food, basically. We'll just keep going and community will just keep growing. So what do we do in regenerative agricultural systems? We plant trees and plants that are able to fix nitrogen from the atmosphere, right? So nitrogen being kind of a macronutrient for plants, the same way protein is a macronutrient for humans. So we have these plants that have this incredible superpower of fixing nitrogen from the atmosphere. It's present in the atmosphere around us, fixing it to their roots and making it available for their plants or for the plants around them, right? So they naturally fertilize the system. They do it by themselves. So we bring back those plants into the system to produce the things that we consume, but at the same time, it's completely self-sustaining. It produces its own fertility. It finds its own way to make sure that pests don't take over, and in the process, just becomes more resilient, more abundant, and eventually much more productive. So Artisan Tropic reached out to Terra Genesis because they're very much interested in seeing how can they bring these regenerative practices into their supply chain. So for the past 2 days, we've really spent a lot of time in the field, assessing the land, really trying to get a better understanding of, what does this local ecosystem look like? Spending time in the field with the farmers, the suppliers, really understanding what are the current practices that they use to grow their yucca, their plantain, what are some of their challenges, to eventually be able to design a system that is perfectly adapted to the local conditions, that incorporates more crops than we currently have in the system that's present at the farm and the farms to the suppliers. So really bringing back biodiversity that helps Artisan Tropic be one of the trailblazers or pioneers really in the region in terms of establishing the regenerative agricultural movement and really showing their local farmers and suppliers what is a possible way forward as they as well embark on this journey towards regenerating the planet.